Okay, the long-awaited sequel to Little Rock Pond treasure hunt. We'll call this part 2. Just checking the cars. I'm not sure. The band, I couldn't find a plate. We got a Missouri one here. A couple of Jersey ones over here. And then ours and 2 other Mass plates. And what do we got here? Rhode Island. So, yeah. So we're back. Last video was in April. This is the end of September. And to be honest with you, I'm mostly here to see if there's any decent color. Definitely the leaves have changed. They're changing on the way up, just judging by what we were able to see. I think it's going to be another dull color year, but we'll see if we can get some decent views. Got the restroom here. I'm going to take a restroom break, and then I'll get back to you and talk a little bit about game plan for today. Little Rock Pond trailhead. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure. I think it's 2.5 miles from you are here to the pond, something like that. And then the top of Green Mountain, so add another mile or so to get to the top of Green Mountain. And we're off. Let me turn this around for a few minutes. Put me on camera for a little bit. Oh, that's what I look like. Yeah, let's see if I can do some of this without killing myself. I probably won't keep it this way for too long, but so we're back, and wasn't sure we'd come back. I was hoping for some epiphany, staring at the book and the map, but they're nothing ever came. So anyway, all right, this is annoying me. I don't know if it's going to annoy you, so I'm going to turn it back around. There, that's better. You can see where we're going. Let me start by saying it's a nice day. It's supposed to, back home in Mass, it's supposed to hit 80. I'm gonna guess maybe might make it to mid 70s up here. It's about 60 right now. 10:30. About a 2-hour and 20-minute drive to get here. So not too bad. It's a decent drive. We'll probably spend a good chunk of the day. Unlike some people, we won't be poking around a lot, but there are a few places I guess I want to take a look at. So yeah, let me get into that, I guess. So I never really did come up with a compelling story of where particularly to look, but there are a couple of things that were just popped into my head, and when we get to those spots, I'll show them to you. And it was just one of those things that I knew it was about this time where you can see a lot of the leaves are already on the ground. I kind of wanted to beat the, if we were coming back this year, I kind of wanted to beat the time for when they were all on the ground. To take a last look, and I just felt as the days were getting closer, through the month of September, I just felt like if I didn't come, it would gnaw at me all winter. So we're here. Again, between staring at the map, reading the book, visiting Facebook, Reddit, and occasionally the Discords. I guess I never really did come up with enough of a good storyline, like I said, that ties everything together. And I never felt like I had a real compelling solve. But on the other hand, I just felt like like I said, there's a couple of spots that seemed like they were worth looking at, and if I didn't look at them and it turned out someone else found them there, that would really bother me. So we'll eliminate those most likely, and then I'll play armchair treasure hunter for the winter probably, and see if I come up with another reason to come back next spring, if that's the case. But from the looks of it, there's a few other people out here today, I would guess. I suppose could just be hikers, but seems unlikely. I mean, this is not a bad spot, but it's not a typical, I'm just going to go out for the day type of spot either. All right, I'll say that's enough yapping for now, and I'm sure as other thoughts jump into my head, I'll get on and mention those. But if not, the next stop would be one of my first things to look at. All right, 1.2 miles from the parking area. We're at a spot that hits 1,727 feet on the trail. And I don't need to tell you why that could be significant. So I'll leave that part and just look around a little bit. Yeah, so that from here on out, the rest of the trail is all above 1,727 feet. Especially when we'll eventually hit the top of Green Mountain, and that's well above that. But you'd have to go way past the pond, well, not way past, but past the pond by probably a half mile or so before it gets back down to 1,727. So there aren't too many opportunities to hit that along the trail. So I figured, again, this is one of those, I gotta stop and look. And once again, just if you feel like it's not possible that it could be here, and I'm not saying it is, but the fact that just take a look at what I'm looking at. Like, you have stream and rocks, and there's trees everywhere. Just in this one little section, I haven't even really moved much yet. and this is a mile and a half, or 1.2 miles. So we did look at a couple of things before we got this far, but if you try to go off trail any significant amount, and then you're trying to cover the entire distance from the parking area up to the pond, I don't know how many days, if not weeks or years, that would take you to really thoroughly cover this spot. So I certainly don't feel like you could eliminate it, even though there's been a bunch of people here. Even take a look at like this dead log here. Let's say somebody hit it inside something like that. There's a lot of these around. Or this big boulder. There's a lot of smaller boulders. There's just too many places to hide something up here to feel confident that it's not here. In there. Nope. Nancy, find it? No. What's that? That's a good point. You didn't hear that. She said she wouldn't tell me if she did find it. If she's over here, I'll go back the other way. The stream looks pretty with all the leaves and stuff on it. I'll give it that. All right, so I'll probably poke around a little longer and then move on to the next one, but you get the idea. If I find it though, I'll put this thing back on. All right, so now we're 2.1 miles in, and yeah, nothing's looking particularly special here, but this would be, if you believe the scale that's is consistent on the lines, the map that is drawn, then this would be about where begin here is. And I had some intent of walking northeast 1,727 feet from here, but there does not look to be any reasonable way to go through this. So I'll probably see if there's an easier way up a little further. So anyway, yeah, so if we want to go with the what's in the map, we parked our car, walked north, follow the direction those footsteps said, and now we're at the begin here, which would say somewhere over there should be a butterfly, swallowtail, I believe. And then up just a little ways, we'll see ourselves a Springer Spaniel. And I'm sure that exists. All right. Well, if it gets better, I'll turn this thing back on. So this is a little rock pond loop going that way. If you wanted to stay consistent to to the map, that's where you would go. We just came up over here. It actually says 2.2 miles to the parking area. And then the AT long trail goes that way. This time we're actually going to go that way. And then go around the pond on the other side, the northern side. But before that, we'll stop here. This would be the spot on the map where the magnifying glass is. And so I'm going to look around. Yeah, you can see a lot of the foliage is gone already. So, look out there and you say, which one of those trees looks like the tree in the magnifying glass? Or is this it? Here, let me zoom out. Water's really low. Let's see if I can pick out anything on the other side that could theoretically be about that tree. Almost any one of those trees. There's no lone tree over there that I can tell. Alright, so there is the other end of the pond. We'll be down there in a few minutes. So here's another far-fetched idea. We're actually north of the pond now, and I will check some of those spots out that I was just walking by. There's more rocky area up there. Anyway, what this is if you go to the end of the trail on the map and you get to the ending triangle and you draw a line 1,727 meters from there northeast, you actually get to right around here. So long shot, but I'm here. So we'll check it out. All right, so now we'll head up on the Green Mountain Trail to the top of Green Mountain area. This would be this Little Rock Pond Loop Trail. Coming up this way would be the way that if you stayed true to the map, that's the way you would have come. But we went the other way, went further north, had lunch. It was a whole lifetime between then and now. So I'm stopping here a little bit because it is the beginning of that trail, and this would be, again, if you're believing that any of those images are supposed to be out here, this would be somewhere in here would be where that scroll would be, which I remember being disappointed last time that I didn't find something that had any suggestion of that here. Still not seeing anything. Keep it on for a little bit. I think some people have picked up on maybe this little rock formation over here. Is that it? Not really. I got nothing. All right, onward. So we're up near the top. We're on the ridge line, but just show you a little bit of this. When you get up here, there's all kinds of things that look like potential hiding spots. And I'm gonna guess they've been pretty thoroughly searched since there have been so many people up here. But again, there's a bunch of it. You know, there would be a perfect one, which is why it's not going to be there. It almost looks like somebody went straight down there. Probably just rain. So yeah, you can spend a good deal of time up here poking around. So I didn't film it, at least not this time, but there are a couple of little tricky areas, especially going down, that do make you question whether you'd put it up here and make it that much of a challenge for somebody. But not impossible, I guess. But here, this is really the whole point of coming here. Yeah. Kind of muted color, but there is some. Can't quite get the pond from here. I would say the this spot kind of lines up with where the spear or whatever that thing is on the trail. I don't know how close that is, but I was just looking at this thing, thinking, oh, a little imagination, maybe I could use that. Anyway, not done yet. Just saw another weary traveler. I guess he's here doing the same thing And pretty much everybody that's here is doing the same thing. But again, if you're willing to come up here, the views are decent. All right. Okay, I just put it away, and then we got to the next one, and it said pond view, and sure enough, there's a pond down there. Pretty sure this is where we had lunch back in April. So that corner there would have been where I said the magnifying glass would show up. I guess from there you could look up to here for what that's worth. And again, that high point over there is Homer Stone Mountain, I think, for what that's worth. So we're out at the top. At the very end, we just came to the other side of the trail was where the lookout area was, which would coincide with the end triangle near the X. So now it's okay, where would the X be relative to that? And I guess there's a couple of schools of thought. Probably the more popular is you go with the scaling thing, and so if it's scaled, it probably is not too far from where we are right now. But I could see evidence of people, campfires and everything else here, so people have spent a lot of time here. Probably the most looked at location. So the other theory I was considering was that it's 1,727 feet from the end triangle, just because. And in a southwesterly direction versus northeast, or if you flip it from the X to that spot where we were, you go northeast. And if you want any evidence of somebody trying to fit a clue to their solution or solve, that would be it. But again, we're here, so we'll look around a bit. There doesn't seem to be nearly as many places to hide something over here as there have been in many other spots. So this almost seems highly unlikely. So I'm gonna guess this kind of lines up with where the X seems to be for a number of people. Looks like they dug it out, even though he said no digging. But either they did find it, or more likely they just dug it out and then moved on. So we'll see what else is down here. So we abandoned that pretty quickly. You're going down a really steep side of that mountain if you're gonna try to get to 1727. We just went by where that final high point is. There's a person there, so that's why I didn't video while we were out there or as I was just walking by. All right, so we're headed back to this point. I think we're a little like 4.5 miles. We did probably added an extra mile just in heading up further up the AT and stuff. So this would be maybe 3.5 miles to get to this point, which would mean if you turn around and go back, you're talking about a 7-mile round trip. Just as FYI. Last time we went back, stayed on the Green Mountain Trail all the way back to the car. That turned out to be about 9 miles. So it's a little longer that way, but if you're concerned about any of this sketchy trail, which I'll show you on the way down, then you get none of that if you come up the other way. And I guess if you were just trying to go to this end area, you're probably talking, I don't know, might be 4 to 5 miles round trip, I guess. But who knows? I'm feeling no better about it than I did the last time as far as chance of finding anything based on any of the knowledge that I gained over the last few months. So I probably won't come back unless there's some more information either that becomes available or that somehow I can piece together that convinces me that this would be a place to go. And I'm not against the idea of traveling anywhere else too, but I still have a hard time getting past the compelling evidence of that trail on the map. I'm sure it's a clue of some sort. I just don't know what the clue might be. Anyway, I'm gonna guess there'll be a couple more stops along the way, so you'll hear from me more. So this is one of the areas that I was questioning. I think Nancy's got the better way to go. Not sure you'll even be able to see that the way I filmed it. Now I gotta get down from here. Not too bad, but we hike all the time. This one is definitely trickier, especially coming up. So you get this little slot here that you try to work your way up in. Like right here, you just have this nice smooth area. So I'm sitting down right now. And you couldn't see that because I just blocked everything. And you got this one here, similar situation. All right. So I guess you just mostly get the sound effects. This is partly why I didn't film it on the way up. There, maybe we can, the sun's in the wrong spot. There we go. So, not horrible, but especially if you aren't used to doing some of these things, that could be somewhat intimidating. Really, I think in my mind, that was it. Those two little sections. The rest of this, it's steep in spots and things like that, but nothing where you really needed to use both hands along with your feet. But I'm gonna actually turn this off and start using my poles so I don't slip and fall. All right, back at the parking lot. We outlasted most people apparently. Van's still here. A couple other cars. I think the truck's new. Saw a couple other people we hadn't seen before, so not sure what they came in. At least maybe one of or a couple of them in the truck. Here, let me put these down. All right. Yeah, I'll switch this around for a minute. All right, so no success, but didn't really expect any. I guess I'm satisfied enough that I probably won't come back unless there's something compelling, um, or who knows, maybe in the spring again. Um, yeah, so let's see, it was almost 9 miles and about 1,000 feet. Not a lot of climbing, but 9 miles. Uh, Certainly you could do less than that if you were had a particular plan to go to a spot, but we were kind of poking around a number of different places. Yeah, as far as, let's see, I guess we saw about a dozen people, and I'd guess at least a half dozen of them were doing treasure hunting. We didn't actually talk to anybody other than to say hi, so I can't say for sure, but based on where they were and some of their behavior, I would say that it's more likely that they were treasure hunters. It's possible everybody was, but we can mask ourselves as just looking like hikers, so somebody might not know what we're here for. Yeah, coming back, I guess I feel like I'd need to have an area that I could go to, maybe a spot that I feel like I'm within a couple hundred feet, and then I could poke around there. Anything beyond that, now you're talking grid searching basically, and I'm not really that interested in that. So I'd have to nail it down quite a bit more than what I was doing today. I think at least in my mind, I kind of eliminated the idea of 1727 being a distance off trail to go someplace, because not impossible, I guess, but that's a pretty good distance. It's about a third of a mile, and you go a third of the mile in the woods here, you may not ever find your way back out. Yeah, I guess recommendation for anybody else that's planning on coming here. It seems unlikely to me that the treasure would be where the X near the 1727 is, or near the begin here, or anywhere near the shelter, which is at the corner of the pond, or for that matter, anywhere within, say, a few feet of the trail all the way around. There's just been so many people that have done those areas and they've kind of combed it. Not impossible, but it just seems unlikely that it's in any of those places. So anyway, that'll be it. I probably talked way too long, and certainly willing to answer anybody's questions if they have any. And I'd be willing to go back out and be boots on the ground for somebody, because it's actually the hiking part that I like. So anyway, I'll sign off now, and maybe I'll catch you in a different video in a different place.